In the vastness of the cosmos, where nebulas pulsed like hearts of fire and planets floated like lost orbs, an alert transmission pierced through the void. It was a low-frequency sound, reverberating like distant thunder. On the planet Exilion, home of the Ekthar species, the signal was intercepted by organic antennas, living structures growing atop the towers of the capital city, Zorovin. The transmission contained no words, only a pulsating energy that the Ekthar immediately recognized. It was a human war code. The Ekthar, a highly evolved and telepathically connected civilization, had never faced humans directly, but their legends spoke of colossal ships and soldiers with an indomitable spirit. The Ekthar Council convened immediately, their elongated and translucent figures moving in harmony as their voices resonated in symphonic unison. "They are coming," said Zilthar, the council elder, with a reverberating voice. His bioluminescent eyes pulsed with a mixture of concern and curiosity. "Prepare for the unthinkable." The pulsating energy continued to reverberate through the Ekthar telepathic systems, causing collective unrest. The unified consciousness of the species debated how to react to this alien presence that stirred memories of ancient tales while also stoking fears for their survival. The landscapes of Exilion, draped in crystalline forests and bioluminescent seas, seemed to tremble under the weight of this uncertainty. Were the humans allies or destroyers? Stories of human ingenuity and brutality felt more like myths than tangible realities to the younger Ekthar generation, yet the ancestral fear persisted. Meanwhile, deep within Zorovin, Ekthar scientists frantically analyzed the transmission data, seeking to decipher the intent behind the code. They identified patterns that hinted at both a plea for truce and a warning of imminent hostility, making the Council's decision even more critical. The human ship, named Indomitable, was a colossus of metal and energy. Measuring over 15 kilometers in length, its structure combined brutalist technology with functional design. Its outer layers were reinforced with a material called ferritanium, capable of withstanding the universe's harshest conditions. Inside the ship, Commander Sarah Lorne analyzed data on her holographic desk. Her green eyes shone with determination, and her brown hair was tightly tied in a bun. Around her, human officers manned their stations, monitoring readings, calibrating weapons, and coordinating strategies. "Captain," said a young officer, his tone tense, "we've detected a transmission from the Ekthar. It appears to be a request for negotiation." Sarah raised an eyebrow. "Negotiation? Interesting. But don't trust it. The Ekthar are masters of mental manipulation. Prepare the psychic defenses and keep the weapons charged." At the heart of the ship, the machinery hummed with energy as crew members from various human nations exchanged ideas about what they might encounter on Exilion. There was a palpable tension, but also a collective pride in representing humanity's strength before such a mysterious alien species. The Indomitable also carried an impressive arsenal. Plasma cannons, kinetic energy turrets, and autonomous defense drones stood ready to ensure no surprises would catch them off guard. Commander Sarah knew that this first contact would be decisive, and she could not afford to appear weak or hesitant. As the ship approached Exilion, real-time transmissions of the planet's atmospheric composition streamed across the monitors. The analyses revealed an intriguing beauty: floating crystals, unstable magnetic formations, and an ecosystem that seemed almost alive in its response to external energy. The Indomitable entered Exilion's orbit, its central reactor emitting a bluish light that cut through the planet's dense clouds. The atmosphere glowed greenish, due to the high concentration of luminous crystals floating in the winds. The Ekthar, from their towers, watched in fascination and terror as the human ship cast its colossal shadow over the landscape. Zilthar called for an emergency telepathic meeting, mentally linking thousands of Ekthar in an instant. "They have arrived. Their thoughts are chaotic, but their determination is unwavering," said a voice in the mental link. "Do not underestimate the humans," replied Zilthar. "Their will is as much a weapon as their machines." As the ship hovered above a vast crystalline plain, the Ekthar felt a disturbance in their collective consciousness. Human thoughts, so chaotic and fragmented, invaded their senses like a hurricane, challenging the calm of their natural harmony. Despite his advanced age, Zilthar led the organization of a welcoming team. His movements were graceful yet firm, and his aura exuded a tranquility that helped steady the panicked younger Ekthar. He understood that any mistake at this moment could spell doom for both sides. The landscape below the ship vibrated with the energy of the crystals, which seemed to react to the human presence. The human scientists aboard the Indomitable conducted frantic readings, fascinated by the ecosystem's complexity, while military officers remained alert, closely observing every alien movement. A small squad of humans was sent to the surface, led by Sarah. They landed in a desert-like area where crystals glimmered under Exilian sunlight. The Ekthar awaited them, their slender, iridescent forms almost blending with the environment. "Welcome, humans," said Zilthar, his voice echoing directly into the team's minds. His tone was calm but carried an intensity that made some soldiers sweat nervously. "We are here to discuss the terms of an armistice," Sarah replied firmly. "But know that we will not hesitate to defend ourselves if threatened." Zilthar tilted his head, his skin shimmering in shades of blue and silver. "We do not seek war, but neither will we flee from it." As negotiations unfolded, Sarah observed details about the Ekthar that defied human comprehension. Their skin changed color in response to emotions, and their movements were synchronized as if they were extensions of a single body. These observations intrigued her but also heightened her vigilance. The human soldiers around her remained on high alert, gripping their weapons tightly. The tension in the air was palpable, and any unexpected move could trigger an irreversible conflict. Nevertheless, Sarah, with her confident posture, led the dialogue with firmness and respect. In the distance, Exilian's sun began to set, bathing the crystalline field in a golden light and creating a nearly supernatural visual spectacle. This surreal view served as a reminder to both parties that they stood at a historic moment where the future of their species might be decided. While negotiations continued, the Indomitable sensors detected an anomaly in nearby space. It was a fleet of unknown ships, built from a material that absorbed light, rendering them nearly invisible. They emanated an unnatural energy that caused the ship systems to tremble. "Commander, we have a problem," said the technical officer, his face pale with panic. "It's not just the Ekthar. Another force is approaching." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. The holographic display showed the ships emerging from an artificial black hole, something only an incredibly advanced civilization could manipulate. The Horda Nyrax ships looked predatory, pulsating like living organisms, each movement calculated and sinister. The Ekthar also felt the presence of the alien fleet. Their telepathic powers were overwhelmed by a hostile energy, a collective consciousness driven solely by destruction. It was the Horda Nyrax, a parasitic species that consumed entire worlds. Zilthar turned to Sarah, his expression grim. "It seems we have a common enemy. The Horda Nyrax does not distinguish allies from foes. They will destroy us all." In the Ekthar Council, the tension grew thicker. The Ekthar began transmitting telepathic images of worlds devastated by the Nyrax, showing desolate landscapes, ruins, and remnants of civilizations that never had the chance to fight. "They consume everything," said one of the Ekthar counselors. "Energy, matter, consciousness. They will leave nothing behind." Sarah clenched her fists, the tension clearly visible on her face. "If we're going to survive this, we need a plan. And fast." The weight of the revelation pressed down on the humans and Ekthar alike. On the surface of Exilian, Zilthar and Sarah faced each other, the distrust between their species momentarily overshadowed by the looming threat of the Horda Nyrax. Zilthar's bioluminescent gaze met Sarah's steely determination. "We must act together if we hope to survive. The Horda Nyrax will not allow us the luxury of divided strength." Sarah nodded slowly, her sharp mind already piecing together strategies. "We can coordinate our forces. Indomitable has the firepower to hold off their fleet, but we'll need your telepathic capabilities to outmaneuver them. This enemy thrives on chaos. Precision will be our advantage. A telepathic ripple from Zilthar confirmed his agreement. Your technology, combined with our consciousness network, might give us the edge we need. But understand this, Commander, our survival hinges on trust. We cannot afford betrayal. Sarah glanced at her team, her resolve unwavering. Trust isn't earned overnight, but survival comes first. Let's start there. The Ekthar began transmitting strategic visuals directly into the minds of the humans. The images depicted vast neural-like structures embedded in the Nirak fleet, pulsating with malignant energy. Destroying these nodes, Zilthar explained, would sever the enemy's collective consciousness, crippling their ability to coordinate. Back aboard the Indomitable, the human crew worked in tandem with the Ekthar, developing a unified battle plan. The human officers were initially unnerved by the telepathic transmissions but quickly adapted, their pragmatic nature allowing them to focus on the task at hand. As the plan solidified, Sarah addressed her crew. We're fighting not just for humanity but for a galaxy free of annihilation. Today, we stand with the Ekthar. Let's show them what it means to be human. The Horda Nirak fleet descended on Exilion like a black tide. Their ships, organic monstrosities, writhed and pulsed with unnatural energy. The Indomitable unleashed its full arsenal, plasma cannons roaring and drones zipping through the void to intercept the oncoming threat. The Ekthar joined the fray, their bioluminescent forms glowing brightly as they synchronized their telepathic energies. Massive crystalline structures on Exilion acted as amplifiers, channeling their thoughts into devastating bursts of psionic force that struck the Nirak ships. The first wave of the Nirak offensive was repelled, but the enemy adapted quickly, their parasitic nature allowing them to consume and repurpose energy from the battlefield. Zilthar's voice echoed in Sarah's mind. Their resilience is formidable. We must strike their neural nodes now, or they will overwhelm us. Understood, Sarah replied. She directed her team to focus fire on the neural nodes, the Ekthar providing real-time coordinates through their telepathic link. The combined forces worked in remarkable synchronization, their disparate methods blending into a cohesive strategy. The battle raged on, each side pushing their limits. On the ground, Ekthar warriors and human marines fought side by side against Nirak ground units, horrifying, insectoid creatures that consumed everything in their path. Sarah led her team with fearless precision, her tactical decisions saving countless lives. Above, the Indomitable took heavy damage but continued to fight, its advanced shielding and weaponry buying precious time. The Ekthar's telepathic strikes grew weaker as their energy reserves dwindled, prompting Sarah to make a bold decision. Zilthar, can your crystals amplify the Indomitable's reactor output? She asked through the mental link. It's dangerous, but possible, Zilthar replied. The energy surge could destroy us all if it destabilizes. It's a risk we have to take. Without it, we won't last, Sarah said. As the Horda Nirak closed in, the Indomitable descended to Exilion's surface, its reactor linked to the planet's crystalline network. The Ekthar concentrated their remaining energy into stabilizing the connection, their translucent forms dimming as their strength waned. Sarah coordinated the final attack, directing the combined forces toward the largest neural node. With the reactor and crystals working in tandem, the resulting energy blast was monumental, piercing through the Nirak fleet like a spear of light. The neural node disintegrated, and the remaining Nirak forces faltered, their cohesion shattered. One by one, their ships fell silent, their parasitic essence dissipating into the void. The battlefield was eerily quiet as the surviving humans and Ekthar surveyed the destruction. The Indomitable was heavily damaged, and the Ekthar's crystalline structures were dim and cracked, but they had prevailed. Zilthar approached Sarah, his form flickering weakly. Today, we have forged something more than survival. We have forged understanding. Sarah smiled faintly, exhaustion evident in her posture. Let's hope it lasts. We still have a galaxy to rebuild. The humans and Ekthar began the arduous process of repairing their worlds, their alliance a fragile but hopeful beacon in the vastness of space.